Good evening. Welcome to the City of Oak Park Heights Parks Commission meeting. It's Monday, December 19th, 2022, and I do call the meeting to order. First, we have approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion has been made to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Motion is carried, and we're moving forward to the department and commission liaison reports.
Minutes.
Minutes. I'm sorry, I missed it. Yes, let's read the minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the August 15, 2022 minutes.
This is,
Is it the current minutes or is it last month's minutes? I apologize.
last month's minutes, right?
Yeah, November 21st.
November 21st.
November 21st.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking.
That's okay.
I make a motion, we approve the November 21st minutes.
Motion has been made. Do I hear a second?
Seconded, yes.
Thank you. We have a second. Motion has been made. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion passes. And next on the agenda now is Department and Commission Liaison Reports. Arborist Lisa Danielson.
Yeah, so at the last meeting, I had reported to you all that Save a Tree planned to be in the week of December 5th to do the boulevard and park tree trimming and removal lists. That work has been completed. Also, the Emerald Ash Borer grant that we had received from the DNR, that first report was due by the 16th. I had gotten that submitted. And tomorrow, I plan to submit our Tree City USA application for this year.
Okay.
So, that's all I have.
Well, it's winter. You get somewhat of a little break, don't you?
We've been sitting back with our feet up on the desk.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
That is not true.
No, we know better than that.
I better change my note then.
Public Works Director,
Sure.
Andy.
Well, we are in winter operation, as you folks know, so we're plowing, which obviously means plowing trails, snow removal, and making ice. So the crew did get about maybe a half a dozen or so, 7, 8 maybe, floods on the rinks. Then we had a few warm days, and so they're not open quite yet, but we're shooting for the week after Christmas. I think that's a decent goal. We've got some more snow coming. We're short staff and we're short equipment, so we've been kind of operating with a limp for the last 30 days, but we'll get through it. And it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's
Yep.
Minnesota.
That's right.
There'll be some cold weather this week.
Yes,
for
sir.
making ice.
We're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah, thank you very much for the update. And the commission liaison report is Mr. Chuck Doherty, and he's going to be a little late tonight, and so we're going to just move past it and move. Next on the agenda is visitors and public comment, and we've had no one else come to brave the weather tonight, and so we can move forward with that. Public hearings are none tonight. And we go to the really interesting stuff here is old business and the Swagger Park Playground. Love the big report you gave us.
Yeah.
Really, it's wonderful. It's so detailed and
Yes. Chris Johnson of Minnesota, Wisconsin, I'm sorry, St. Croix Recreation. He does a fantastic job.
he's worked with the youth,
We've
with
been working-
us, the
with
city for a long time, right?
Long time, that's correct, yeah. And so in your packet, you'll see 3 different options, and I kind of figured tonight's goal is just to kind of go through those options, just have fun with it. Pick what you like,
like that.
and kind of give us some direction as to what you folks want to see at Swagger. Maybe it's none of these options, but let me know, and then we can come back to you next month with maybe some refined equipment and costs and/or completely different equipment, whatever you choose. We're open. So
Does anybody have any questions about it? Andy, is there anything you want to point out in particular, or?
Well, I'll point out just general things like we are trying to stay within the existing footprint of the old playground, which is 70 feet by 40 feet roughly. We may
Right.
have to, move a corner or two, but that's not a big deal. And so the options, at this point, the cost estimates are very rough. They're not finalized. But, and I did write in a memo that we generally spent roughly between, I think it was 45 and maybe $65,000.
That was one of my questions, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're, obviously this was a long time ago.
Yep.
Equipment costs have gone up, costs have gone up generally, so we know it's gonna be a little bit more than that.
Of course.
But we're hoping to maybe stay in that same range, if you will, so maybe 70, give or take, something along those.
When and where did we last spend like a good chunk like this?
The last playground build was probably at Oak Park Crossing, is that correct, Lisa?
No, it would have been this one at Swagger
Was it Swagger? Oh, with
in
the,
2014.
okay. So yeah, that's right. 2014, we would have put in the climbing boulders and the
Right.
tyke equipment. I'm not prepared to, I don't have the numbers for
Oh,
those.
no.
Okay.
I was just wondering how long it had been, because that's pretty fair. Good job of upkeep then on your part, to go that long before, with all the use that these parks get and this equipment gets. I'm impressed with that. And I'm also impressed that his proposals, of course, they jump up, and that's what it should do, give us more than one.
Yeah.
But they're not that out of hand for what things are costing today, in my opinion.
Right.
And
Yep, I agree.
Am I right?
I agree.
Okay.
You are
I
correct.
I didn't know for sure because
Yep.
I don't have experience with that,
No.
but it just seemed like, well, I expected bigger figures than that to do much of anything these days.
Yeah, and we could put in all sorts of equipment, but there's always that cost factor. So.
Well, and we have to stay within budgets. It's public money in that sense. It's the city's money.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to go through these one by one, perhaps, and we start on the.
Why not? Why not? They're very interesting. And I did have the question too. This is all from a company named Burke. Do we have other equipment that have come from this same group?
We do, yes. What exact playgrounds we have Burke equipment, I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head.
Doesn't matter, it just-
Multiple.
The swings,
Multiple.
yeah, the swing sets, for example, at Culver Park, that we installed last year in 2019, I think. Both of those would be this brand.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
Oak Park Crossing, I think that's Burke equipment. We
Yep.
might have a mix and match. At
And
Burke.
that's holding up really well.
It does hold up. So what we ask for is, as you mentioned, playground equipment is expensive, although this is reasonable, but we do ask that we go for the higher end in terms of maintenance, or maintenance required, I guess, no maintenance required.
Longevity.
So- Yes, thank you. So
What did you say,
this,
Tom?
Longevity of
Yes.
equipment.
Absolutely.
and so this equipment that is quoted here, or is specified, is low maintenance equipment, and that really helps us. So it's good stuff.
And we have it where at, which other parks? Just so
I believe Oak
we
Park
wanna
Crossing
wander out.
is Burke equipment.
Burke,
We've
okay.
got some swing sets at Culver Park that is Burke equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Brecky.
The upper field, the upper playground at Brecky might be Burke equipment.
That's great.
Yeah,
And it would be all overseen by Chris Johnson of St. Croix Recreational Fund Playground.
yeah.
And I love keeping money in the valley. If we're gonna spend it,
Yeah.
let's keep it down here.
It's a great company. They're great people to work with as well. So these, when we do start kind of refining this, this project here in terms of costs, these are state bid prices. So they've already been bid or quoted out. So I guess technically we don't have to get other quotes. We could if you wanted to, but technically this has already been pre-bid. So
Got it.
Is there a figure, I see in the letter that Chris sent to you and Lisa, I have our scope of work as follows, scope of work by others. Is there fee that we can attach? What would we add on to, say, the 44,000 bid? I presume that's St. Croix Rex bid for their work.
Yes.
What would be the additional when we start thinking about, here's what's going to be the cost?
Yep. Curbing and miscellaneous construction
Yeah, is there,
costs. So another maybe roughly $15,000, $20,000. That's a guesstimation.
15 to 20?
15 to 20, yeah.
And it's also that Chris in his letter said we, want to expand the curb by 1 foot or 2 foot, depending on the design. Is that for each of the three, there wasn't one that would fit in the curb that's there?
Yeah, there was one piece of equipment there where we might have to expand, and I believe that's the second option.
Okay.
And that's the one with the, I call it a zip line, maybe it's called a slider. Here, let me get to the page. It's page 29 of 60 in your packet. That's
29
where
of
the
60.
estimate starts. Estimate number 6137. And if you turn to the second page, we've got this colorful diagram here, or
Yeah.
photo. It's that zip line or the slider where you see the child standing on the two
Right.
platforms. We may need to expand the border just a foot, but that's not a big deal, because we'll be taking out the sand and the old logs and putting in permanent border, hopefully.
Okay.
Anyway, so,
Yeah, that's great to know. And then right away off the bat, if we have to start adding additional costs on, we have to be aware of that.
there will be additional costs. So we're not asking for approval tonight. This is just
Yeah,
to get you
right.
guys in front of it.
Right. No, it was great to have this all before us. And when would you hope to solidify this bid and actually order this job done?
Probably early winter, I'd say 2023. If we can
Early
have
winter
something on order by February, March would be ideal. So we can get this installed in 2023.
Okay,
So
that's
we've
good.
got some time. There's no
Yeah,
rush.
that helps. All right. Anybody have any other questions? Or do you have any more to share
Any
with
ideas
us?
or thoughts, or, I mean,
So is there any issue with the metal, like on those other, whatever?
That's my question was too,
Right.
the
Yeah.
power lines, the standard.
yeah, well, yeah and no. I mean, it's kind of unavoidable. So in that case, you could argue, well, in that case, why not just put a regular piece of playground equipment in, which we could, I suppose, but
Does he, he's gotta, if he's doing this on a regular basis, he's gotta come across that kind of stuff, you would think, so does he
he's well
have-
aware of the issue.
Okay.
And so he kind of, we kind of talked about what we're looking for, and we said, hey, Chris, look, put some things together that, he's the expert here, we're not, we don't build playgrounds every day, so you put some things together, put them on paper, and we'll go from there. And this is what he put together, so.
Okay,
I assume maybe his layout, selection of his layout along with the equipment probably helps.
There's a reason for the layout.
Yes.
The layout has to be, there has to be what's called a fall zone, and that's an ADA requirement.
Yep.
If you, say, flip to a page like this where you have an outline or a diagram, a plan, if you will, with
Exactly. Yeah.
the
Yep.
border around it, that's the fall zone, or the fall protection zone
Yep.
that's required. So,
It looks good.
Well, I'm impressed that this is just the basic start of a big process, how complete this packet was that was sent to you and therefore to us. Real early on, it's got a lot of information here, and that's wonderful. It
It
gives
is.
us a chance to be able to really look it over, talk about it in a couple of meetings, and
yeah.
see what we keep going back to you for advice on this, obviously.
So if I might ask, do you folks have any thoughts or preferences, or is there one that struck out to you more than others, or?
I liked, on, that was the first proposal on page, that one on page 8.
Yep. right off the bat.
Just that, first of all, I like that look because it ties into the bridge. You know, that's just cool. Or you get further on, like
It's cool.
page 30. I love that climbing thing versus, you know, I always think about we had as kids, we had the old steel igloo shaped thing with just like tetrahedrons in it. And that was
Yep.
about it. This is awesome. I mean, to have something like that, that's just a wonderful piece of equipment. I think the kids would see that and they'd be like a magnet.
Oh, yes.
I think
Yes.
his selection of products are,
And when you say 30, what are you referring to? Is
This-
it,
The star shape.
oh, yeah. I
I
agree.
think, you know, you talked earlier about the kids seeing stuff and go to climb on something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be
Yeah.
like, but all these climbings are
I
nice.
like that same one, but I liked it because of the zip line. I know Oak Park School has a zip line, and we walk up there, and my grandkids loved
Yep.
being on that thing. They liked being pushed, and then eventually they liked it so they could do their own,
Right.
push off those
Yep.
things.
Yeah, that's cool too.
I just think that's a neat piece of equipment to have there, but
Yeah, little disclaimer, that's Lisa and my favorite as well. So,
Is the push off?
yeah, it's the second option.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does all this come out of then, when you gave us that projected budgets, does this come out of Park and Trail
Yes, sir.
improvements? That's the one?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So is there a chance that if we made it Anderson orange or whatever their colors are, they'd give us some money?
We can always ask.
That's,
It's right next to their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
You mean the new Anderson Park? No,
Yes.
sorry, Sloggers.
No, that's not a bad idea.
Sorry, Nori, rest your soul.
And then, of course, that's why I asked earlier, are these sort of plans now set in writing? Therefore, we couldn't take part of Plan 1 and one thing out of proposal.
Absolutely not. At this point, you can do whatever you want to do.
See?
Mix and match if you please. Now is the time to do it.
So
That's
the,
cool.
this is the zip line thing on page 31 of 60.
That's correct, yeah.
That little, yeah, those are cool.
It's
It's
such
the
a
color,
simple.
yeah, it's the color, it's the platform, right?
Platform to platform, with a
Right
little
here.
green bar between.
Yep, so there's
Yeah.
little wheels in there and the kid will
I just want
follow.
I like the one thing on the first page. I want the whole slides and all of it. That's all. Let's just
It would be
let's
nice.
just do it.
It would be wonderful.
So thanks for asking you, Andy. Well, so what's the maximum footprint over there?
We can expand it. It's up to you folks.
Yeah.
There's
Well, you know,
plenty
I
of
had
room
the
over there.
thought too, how much would it cost to get away from under the wires and eventually put it over into the whole grass area that would be directly to the south of where it is now?
That's an option if you want to do that. I don't think
I
it
don't
would
know
cost
if-
anything more, to be honest with you. Are the
You'd still have the lines.
I think the power lines, we did look into that, and I think you have two sets of power lines. So no matter where you are in that park, you're going to be under the power lines.
Okay, so,
Just kind of looking at it here, yeah.
I've noticed a difference on the metal surfaces that are painted versus non-painted.
Okay.
Like the truck
Yeah,
toolboxes,
yeah,
those aren't painted.
yeah.
So,
You get shocked from.
yeah, you get
from
shocked from that, but say you
from the
touch
painted
the
ones, you
the
get
unpainted.
the unpainted.
So say you go touch the support to the picnic shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens.
So it's not always. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not, and it's
Yeah.
not a bad shock. I
No.
don't think it's going to hurt anyone. It's just annoying, like a rubbing your feet on the carpet sort of
Sure.
static shock, if you will.
Well, that would be something too, because I have thought, that's where Randy, who, may he rest in peace, was hoping to install the horseshoe
Yep.
pits.
Yep.
And I've always looked at that land as not being used really for anything, that in the sense between the fencing that needs to be replaced, and that, we have to remember that too.
Yes.
That park does need that work somewhere in our budgets coming up.
Right.
It's getting worse.
Yep.
You're proposing where potentially to put it, like towards the basketball court?
Directly south of where it is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
you know.
Just on the other side of the
across the path.
Okay, across, yep, okay.
And the only thing over there right now is the little basketball court.
Right, yeah.
And then a bunch of grass, you know, so I just had the thought of, I don't know if it's worth it for one of our smallest parks to invest too much into it. It still seems to me that Swagger and what's the other, our little one down below? Culver, are truly neighborhood parks.
They are. I
You
think
know,
they are.
and so we should take that and keep that in consideration.
Although, we have seen an uptick of people using Swagger because of the tennis courts. They are quite
True.
popular in the summer.
That's true. Great
So-
move to put the pickleball lines in there.
Yep.
So that's fun. And I'm fond of that park. It's been there a long time,
Yes, it has.
and I think it's worth doing some.
So at this
Upgrades.
meeting, do we discuss like what components we like and how, is that something we discuss at this meeting or
Yeah,
no?
absolutely. And then, so basically, you folks just give us some direction as to how we want to proceed, and we'll contact Chris and say, hey, look, the commission really liked equipment A, B, C, and we'd like to make that work. We want to switch some things around, and can we get a new quote for this equipment? And we'll bring
Yeah.
that back to you.
I think the spider thing, the arches coming together is neat, and I like this, I've always liked swings. The little crawl round thing, I don't know,
It limits the size of the youngster.
but I was gonna say that,
does.
and then the zip line, I don't know if we're looking for 3 components or,
What do you think about that?
I think 3 components. We kind of figured a swing, some sort of
Yeah.
climbing
Yeah,
structure.
gotta have
Yeah,
swing if it's a
swings, yeah.
park.
Those
Gotta
are
have
popular.
swings.
Yep.
but, and then the only other suggestion I was to say is just be careful about the color on how, I don't know, can it get hot? I don't know. If it's a dark color, can it get hot? It's not it's not like there's slides here, so,
Right.
I don't know.
Well, you folks would have the pleasure of choosing the colors as well.
Sure,
Yeah,
Frankly, I
and
don't
that's
care.
way down
okay.
Yeah.
the road, I think.
That's closer to a final
Yeah.
approval.
Who has access to little kids to show them these pictures?
I don't have little kids.
Grandson.
You have a grandson, that's a start.
How about you, Jennifer?
No kids.
No kids?
No
Just
kids.
3 over here.
And, and my husband and I have 5 children and no grandchildren. So I'm sort of out of the loop.
A lot of the newer playgrounds I've noticed in surrounding communities are kind of putting in the more like geometric climbing structure things. And the zip line, we kind of liked because it was different than what we have at other parks too.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of kids can use it because
Yeah.
and then it's the next kids.
It's different than the monkey
Get back in
bars.
line, you know?
You need so much strength to go across those monkey bars. My kids could never do them, so they like the zip line thing,
Yep.
you know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you can help them get on it when they're smaller too, so.
Like I say, I like the idea that kids don't have to wait in line a long time because
Yeah.
it's a fast little use, and then they go to the back of the line and learn some sharing even.
I look at it all and say, the swings,
We gotta have
the
swings.
swings, the zip line, and a climbing structure, and I think that the climbing structure for me outweighs that little circular thing you talked
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
And so, I mean, I think that's, any of these would be awesome,
Okay.
an awesome combination. I wouldn't need to argue for one or the other, except for, I think we like the zip line.
I like the way the B one is laid out, with the swings and the zip line and the structure in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't care about the structure, nor do I care about the colors. Other people can decide on that, but I do like that, having the swings on one end, the zip line on the other, and then the
Yeah, I agree.
structure in the middle.
That's a nice layout.
And if you folks can picture this off to the east or to the right of where the swings are on your page,
Yep.
that's where the shelter is.
Okay.
And so you'll have the shelter, which would transition nicely into the playground area with some swings, and so folks could sit and have a picnic and watch their kids play on the playground. Be
Yeah.
very close.
I've always liked that, where it's located.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's got some fun equipment over across from, the
Yep.
other side of the shelter.
Yep.
To the east,
Right. Yep, let's not forget
some
that.
really nice stuff there. So,
So is there, with the climbing structure, is there appeal for the one on the first option versus the one on the second? That would have been more like, looking like kind of a bridge, if you will.
let's find pages of the
Oh, my goodness. I'm starting to get lost.
photograph,
Page 10.
and that'll help us.
Flipping through all
This is, yeah, there's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, that would be on page,
Here.
say, page 10.
There's one on page 8 of 60.
Yep, or 8.
Is
Yeah.
I like that idea.
You
of
like that one better than the second?
Well, the continuity of the bridge,
Uh-huh.
it's sort of fun, but I think we have to look at what's more fun for the kids to climb, because they're not going to go, oh, this is sort of like our new bridge.
Sure, of
Yeah.
course.
I'm happy with either one, any of it.
It's just, and
The one on page 46, that might be a little too complicated.
It looks like it.
That's a 911 call from a baby. My kid is stuck, we can't get him back.
kids, several children
Or you get there and say, there's
pinned in there.
3 kids and no adults. They've
Yeah.
gone, they're over at the lounge at the bowl.
Well,
That's happened too up at the Eagle's Nest. There was kids who've gone way up in the thing and I hear them crying, like years ago when my kids were,
Yeah.
get up there and they were too afraid to come back down.
Yes.
So they would have to get some other little kid to get up and get them, so.
Well, this would be a tough one for that, to have a parent go and have to
Yes,
extricate their
as a
kid.
parent, it's hard to get up, it's hard to get up there.
Because that's really tight.
That wasn't my favorite, for sure.
Yeah, okay, so,
We'll X that one out.
Yeah,
I agree with you, folks.
yeah.
It looks
Do
too
that.
complicated.
You gotta go get your Eagle badge and not ties. Right.
Gosh.
yeah, that really seemed like, oh boy, I don't know if they know how to back out of that, once they get to the top. So simplicity has its, a charm too. More kids can use it at perhaps a wider age span.
Let's go look up there.
I like the bridge, but I like the concept, but I don't think the kids would particularly go, oh, this is like our big bridge down the road. So I think you're again back to that middle one, page 30 of 60.
Well, boy, that makes things easy.
Look at that.
Hot dog. Any preference on colors? Or do you want some time to think about it?
There's too many options.
There's a
Chartreuse.
lot of
No.
options. That is
Let
an
us think
option.
about that.
What's there now is a
I
green.
just threw it up because I saw the color page. Or
What
like,
did you say?
chartreuse. I looked at I was on their website and I just happened to saw
Oh,
that.
you're so sensitive.
That's one of the colors. There we go.
Whatever doesn't fade, I would say.
But,
Yeah.
go to, we're looking at page 30 of 60, but flip to page 32 and it shows just the rope venture itself. And it takes it out of, with no background and it's easier to see. Go one more page. See? So we need to look at that pretty close and maybe compare apples to oranges that way without the background park sort of taking some of the sight lines. See, it shows it with a mom with a little kid at the bottom, which I like. Then 4 other children, and it's still not overcrowded.
Yeah.
This is going to look straight at any other climbing structures.
Because, and it's a little higher off the ground. See where mom's standing there? And that means we wouldn't have as much of a chance of too young and too small of a child getting on it and then being in trouble.
Now, there will be mulch. placed below it as
Yeah,
well. So
that's true.
There'll be fall protection.
Because the bridge doesn't seem
Is
to
there a
have-
slide there now, Jessica?
No.
There's not.
No, okay. I didn't think so, I was trying to remember.
You know, they have to have such protection these days, so a child won't fall off the top, and there's laws about it even.
There are.
But that, of course, restricts how big a kid can be to go down the slide too. So there's that offset of
Yep.
the safety factor that
yeah.
really, you know, you don't have as much options then at that particular park,
Yeah.
except for real little ones.
We did inquire about a slide, and Chris kind of shied away from it, especially
Mm-hmm.
because we were looking at the plastic slides or the newer updated plastic. He said those are way worse than the metal ones when it comes to static.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
my
yeah.
grandson likes, we go down to Anderson School in Bayport, and those slides, they come around. He wants you to, they slide, you grab onto them, and you just get so much static shock. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
I was just wondering,
That's great.
We don't need a slide. And it's like all the other climbing structures are kind of always have slides on them. Where these, this is more traditional
Yeah.
climbing structure. I like that.
I don't know, I guess I'm open as far as the climbing things.
Oh, Lakeside Park.
The one that's got, that looks like the bridge is, kind of reminds me of the park behind Walmart.
There's one they have down at Lakeside.
Autumn Hills Park.
They've got that, you go kind of, there's some kind of rope or something, there's something you go sideways, the kids go sideways, maybe it's wood, and it goes up and down. I don't know, that one looks fun, but I'm open.
And I think the color, I think just something that doesn't fade. I'm not, you know, one way or the
It's
other.
all
but
power cord, it looks like.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, he's got to have
Orange,
some
yeah.
suggestions
Sure.
based on his experience.
Yeah, we'll ask him. We could go with a nice green and blue. Those are Oak Park Heights colors. Or
I know
we've got
orange and yellow are
purple in
supposed to
some
fit.
parks.
That's very nice. I
fade.
like that.
Yeah,
When we're trying to eliminate so many colors that to save, it was one of the first parks here in Oak Park Heights, wasn't it? The little Swagger Park?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think so, I
Maybe.
remember playing it, it was like, yeah, it was really weedy.
It was
That's
developed by the Swagger brothers as part
Yeah.
of the development. for-
Exactly. And that
So-
was, they started that right after World War II, and sort of built those homes
Yep.
for returning vets
Right.
and their families.
Yeah.
So it
And
very well could
also-
be. It very well could be.
Because I know my grandma down the street built hers in the 60s, so, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
playing
but
at the
it
park.
started really early.
I don't remember ever getting shocked, though.
When did XL come?
Didn't have power lines in,
Yes, they did.
They weren't there then.
electricity.
Yeah, we maybe made a bigger deal out of it than it actually is, but it's there. I mean, if
Yeah.
you folks were to go over there and spend any time there, you'd understand what we're talking. It's just annoying is what it is. I don't think it's gonna hurt.
Sure.
anyone, but-
I would say that of these pictures, I mean, the blue ones look pretty nice. This blue
Oh, yeah.
color looks pretty
That's
nice.
a
Sure.
outstanding structure. If we're gonna do a climbing, rope thing,
Holy cats.
I agree.
It's different than I didn't even notice it was different than the other one. That is something.
Page 52 of 60, is that the one we're looking at, right? Right behind you there.
That's the
Yeah.
rope adventure epic.
Yeah, I think this is the complicated one in option 3.
Yeah.
It is. So maybe, let's see. Maybe that's a little much for one of our smaller parks, though. Is it? Guys,
It's pretty
I
big.
I think
It's
it'd be a
pretty
little
big.
much for a 5-year-old. I mean, they're all
Yeah.
listed as 5 to 12-year-old age bracket in their recommendations. I'm afraid a 5-year-old could get hung up in there and
I thought the same thing. So, and again, we have to remember, it's one of our smaller parks, and it doesn't need to be overwhelmed by one huge piece of playground equipment. So maybe we do go back to that Orange Star,
Yeah, that's a
which
nice
is
one.
on, where are my pages here?
Could you check to see if they have any of the disc swings?
Yeah.
Down like they have at Bayport, they have two down at Anderson Elementary there.
Oh, those
Those big round discs with the
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
And no matter what, you go there, there's kids on those
Yep.
swings. And
Yeah.
the kids will play other stuff, then they'll go wait so they can get on those.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
even more than the other swings at other parks. They're just very interesting because you have the normal little sling.
Yeah.
Then you have maybe one of the little infant swings, then you have one of those. Give them a variety there, it'd be kind of cool.
They did have some of those. I know when we were looking through the different things, and I think it required quite a big area.
Yeah, okay.
So
That might be, yeah.
we might have to like factor that into it. We might only be able to fit 2 items.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
Yeah,
let's go back
it's,
to,
your frame
yep,
what is it?
versus
Page-
the post.
yep.
Page 30.
More space.
of
We also
60.
kind of had the idea
And what's nice
of,
about
I know
that is
Randy
it's got-
Thorson had mentioned it numerous
If you
times,
open it
he
like
really
this,
likes those digging,
you've got-
little play
Oh,
digging.
oh, yeah.
And we're gonna have a bunch of extra sand, so we figured we
Yeah.
may as well just add a
And
little
this,
Yeah.
and
little
then
square
showing
and put a
it
couple of
in.
them digging units in.
Wasn't there one in Covert Park
Yeah.
at one point?
So-
Or-
A
See if you
resident
can
brought it.
find-
Oh,
Yeah.
wonder just,
It stayed there and kids were
And
using it, so we just left it.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I'm like, where did they
No,
come from?
30 and 31.
I was gonna say that other swing,
The
did they have
digger.
a age recommendation on that other one? Because I see,
I don't know.
I think
it
all
says 5
three
to
of-
12.
Yeah, all three of them.
They're all
are
5 to 12.
But see, that's where, if you go to page 31 and 32, open it up, we see it in real life
Yeah.
scale, and then here defined more. You see that?
Yeah.
And it
Yes, I'm
seems like
open
we keep
as far as
going back to that middle range of price even,
Yeah.
which I think is reasonable.
That works for me. I like that.
Of course, it does say all 3 quotes are good for 30 days. So,
ignore that.
well, we have to respect that. And we have Burke equipment
We do.
in other parks.
Yes.
And my final question is, can we afford to consider anything but proposal 1 for the 44,000?
Yes.
We can do that. All right. Yeah, I didn't want to start dreaming too big
Yeah.
and then having to say, well,
I think it's
Well,
that layout right there. That's just a great layout, that whole
it
thing.
is,
With
it
the-
is. And I can almost picture that layout,
Change any color you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where we're going.
Yep.
Color or
A
whatever.
rectangular space.
Yep.
Colors don't really.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are gonna use it. They'll love the, whatever color when it shows up out there.
That's true. Yeah.
I think, well, I've noticed a couple playgrounds where they're like that lime green, and it doesn't fit in with the neighborhood. And
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's one, I was the one comment I was gonna say is maybe because for the neighbors, like, you know, you can look through, you probably something that's a little more suitable.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Jumping
try to
back
stick
to
with
that.
kind of earth tone
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah. Yep, that's.
And I haven't noticed anything as far as like the powder coat paint goes on any of our stuff fading. I've only noticed it on like the playground, like the different kind of whatever the material is of that sign. The sun will fade the signs a little bit, but never the middle.
Right, yeah. That's just UV eating the
Yeah,
material.
exactly.
Yeah.
What other colors do we have in our parks?
We've got blues, reds, purples, browns,
Green.
some green, but it's a darker green. It's, you know,
Okay.
it's like a forest green.
Yep.
Tan.
Tans, yep.
Red.
And their newest color is aqua, light green.
Well, that'd be great. I like it.
I do too.
The swings we did at Culver, those were just the regular green in the pamphlet.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty open on color too.
That blue looks pretty sharp there. That's the one that you showed earlier.
The blue does look nice in a photo.
Which blue is that, George?
Whatever this color is.
Okay.
Either sky or
It's
just
sky
blue.
and navy. Bluish.
I'd go with that.
So,
Probably sky, huh?
Yeah.
Looks like it's sky, a little brighter than
so
that.
this layout with that color, or
With sky,
That's what
and
I
we
would
need
say.
one other for the little, like,
balls?
the joints, so to speak, yeah. So we need another color with blue.
Do black?
I'll just leave this out of mine.
No, make it warm.
These, the colors are above my pay grade.
How about lemon, blue and yellow? If we don't have those colors elsewhere, that's sort of fun too, because the kids don't know the names of the parks per se, but they know where the blue playground is and where the red playground is and stuff like that. And we don't have to pick color today.
No, absolutely not.
So,
Well, I
we've
think we've
some
got some good
ideas.
direction. It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like what you're telling me is that you really like that option 2 with the equipment and kind of the layout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we can come back and maybe think about it a little bit and come back and select some colors. And we'll keep moving forward on getting cost estimates for the concrete curb
Okay,
and other type miscellaneous things, so you'll have an idea of how much it will cost
okay.
for a completed project. But yeah, I think we've made some pretty darn good progress tonight.
Yeah.
That's a great looking park.
And we have the room to expand that curb if we have to.
Yes.
For safety's sake and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody else have anything to ask or comment on in this? This is called old business because we've been working on the Swagger Park for a couple of years, actually. You repaired that one structure once, and then by 2 years later, it was just literally
We
getting
had literally
dangerous.
fell down, so.
Yeah. So it had to go. And the hole is there. I'm sitting there waiting for some new stuff. So that's great that you got to this stage. And thank you, all of
Isn't that park, it was to the
the
east?
parks commissioners for
When you go to the east
working
of
through
that,
this so fast.
of the pavilion and all that, there's kind of a broken up parkland. Is that Anderson property?
It is.
Okay, that's what I thought, okay.
It's shared between what was at one time the Hope Adoption. Club.
Yeah.
I think they still own that,
Okay,
but otherwise it's Anderson Windows property.
okay, yeah, 'cause I just know that's just kind of a,
Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we did approach them and asked to purchase that property, but
We
they
did, and they
declined.
declined,
Yeah.
correct.
so I think the walking path through there is, even through that section, from City Hall over is
We
pretty,
need to
tough
call
shape.
for a motion on what we've just done.
Andy, do you want a motion on, for direction on this?
It wouldn't hurt. I don't think I need one, but it wouldn't hurt to.
And then it goes on the record.
Let's,
Yeah,
yeah, just your recommendation
absolutely.
in motion format, that would be great.
Okay. Okay, so let's do that. Any further questions or comments before we make a motion? And could I have that motion, please?
let's see what we call it. Motion to approve the option, we call it, is that option 2? Do we did a number for that?
Yeah, it would. Actually, the option number is 6137.
Option 6137, with those structures in that layout in the park and with the colors to be determined later, and we'll find out more with the expanded curbing costs and other miscellaneous costs for further review.
A second.
Second, motion has been made and seconded. Are we ready to vote? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Option 2.
Aye.
It's a unanimous favor. Any opposed? No. And so the motion is carried. And we can then vote on it because we have a motion in front of us. Right? And we just voted.
Yep,
We're done.
perfect.
So we move on to new business, and that is 2023 meeting dates.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the commission, you'll see a listing of the regular meeting dates in your packet. As you know, the commission regularly meets on the third Monday of each month. However, in January and February, we have holidays on the third Monday of those months, so that would necessitate pushing the meeting back to the fourth Monday of those months. So I have those dates listed, and I'm just looking for a motion to approve your 2023 regular meeting dates.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2023 regular meeting dates.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? No? So motion has been carried and the meeting dates for 2023 are officially done.
Thank you.
All right. Informational. Next meeting is supposed to be on Monday, January 23rd, and you said,
That is the fourth Monday, so that is correct.
so that is the fourth
Yeah.
Monday, and so we're fine with that. And then the upcoming council meeting, just to have it on the record, is Tuesday, January 10th at 6 p.m. at City Hall.
And then I just had one quick announcement. The Stillwater Mountain Bike Kids won their championship in 2022, so the city ordered another little sign, little rider for their sign at the mountain bike park for them to put on there that they won another championship.
Good.
So, yeah, so this we'll invite them to a council meeting and present this to them, and we'll let you know in case you want to come in and watch that.
Great.
Do we have a time for to fill the vacancy on our commission? Is there some,
Yes,
are
so.
we aiming for something?
Yep, mid-January is the deadline for application, so
Okay.
we're hoping to get some, we have already sent out a couple of applications, just haven't received them back yet, but that's what we're shooting for a deadline and hoping to have interviews then at your first meeting of the year.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I have.
That's all we have. May I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Seconded?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned.
Good job, team.
Thank you, folks. You
Yeah.
made our job a
That was
lot
great.
easier.
Oh, good. I'll get out there and plow snow.
We'll be there.
Coming tonight.